Megan, welcome back. It feels like we were just here and we're back to Message Monday. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm so much older than I was last week at this time. I feel like this, been a week since my birthday. So, it's been good. Traveled the world, all the things that they say you're supposed to do. But
Yeah, between the kitchen and living room, probably.
yeah, that's right. What a week last week. Had a chance to talk with Dan Hauser, 7-time world champion as an executive. And, what a great message he had. And, we were able to highlight some important things, including our softball national championship, coached by Dean Shuda, still a big presence right here in Stevens Point, and friend of our university, and a big week, coming up here. Tomorrow, we've got Marty Loy. Okay,
Yep.
Marty Loy was one of our wrestling coaches, current dean at the university, former Badger wrestler. He's got a huge history, and really excited to talk to Marty. And then our national champion team highlight this week is the women's basketball team from 2002. How do you feel about that team, Megan?
Oh my gosh, what a great ride. Reason why I'm in collegiate athletics today. That was just so amazing to be a part of that and that experience, and lifetime memories, best of friends, just all of it. So awesome.
Well, we won't talk about the half-court shot that nearly went in at the buzzer.
Oh, let's not.
What a game. How awesome for you guys. And so we got a big week, but we thought we'd share just a couple of things this week. This one's really directed at our student athletes. And first and foremost, on behalf of all of our coaches, administration, for Megan and I, to our seniors who are graduating, congratulations. This is graduation week. We know it's not exactly what you were hoping for, but that doesn't take away your accomplishments. That doesn't take away the 4 years that you've put towards this, and all the trials and tribulations, all the excitement, all the all-nighters and the stress. You did something that very few people can, and that's graduate from college. And please don't allow the situation of things that are going on to take away from that. I know the administration is working on alternate graduation plans for you in the future. Please come back and do that. That's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and we are very proud. What do you think, Meg?
Yeah, it's just such an amazing accomplishment at that stage in life. And, they're really missing out due to the pandemic on such a special day. And so, celebrate safely how they can with their parents or at home or on a Zoom call with some of your teammates and classmates, because it's really something that should be acknowledged, and, you should celebrate all those great accomplishments.
100%. And then, as we always try to do with our student athletes, we try to be transparent with some things. We just got done with our assessment survey, and one of the questions on the assessment survey was, please let us know what the athletics department can do to help support you during this COVID-19 period. And we had some comments. So what we thought we would do is run through a few of the comments or a few of the things, and we thought we'd share them with everybody, because if one needs it, it's likely more needed or all needed. So Megan's going to kind of run through them, and I'm going to do my best to explain where we're at.
So one of the first requests was just wanting some updates on the athletics community, events, important decisions, and or any reminders that we may have from an athletics department standpoint.
Yeah, so I think the biggest question is, when will we get back to some sort of normalcy? We saw that a few times, and there's a couple of guidelines that we're following. Badger bounce back program set by Governor Evers. We're following the tracking on that. The NCAA released from the Sports Science Institute its resocialization of athletics guidelines. Those are available online. If you just search Sports Science Institute resocialization principles, you'll find those. It's a 3-phase plan that would bring back athletics when we hit certain markers. So we've been following those markers. And then the American College Health Association, ACHA, released its recommendations for reopening institutions today, and that includes recommendations for athletics. So those are really the playbooks that we're following right now. We are still as of right now, this is being recorded at 4 o'clock on Monday. Right now, the guidance is that we won't have any events through the month of June. We are waiting to hear from the institution on what July would look like. So that's the latest I have on updates from athletics.
And some of our student athletes are finding that their workload is much heavier with their online classes than they were seeing in face-to-face classes, feeling like, the situation is a little bit more difficult and, there's not a lot of leeway. What recommendations can we give our student athletes to seek help or assistance in the academic realm?
Well, I can tell you, I just finished my doctorate and was completely online. And I remember like it was yesterday, the first semester being online, and it was like, whoa. I mean, a tidal wave of how do I fit this in and how do I get this into my, and their routines are already upset, right? Our student athletes are in a different, all of our students are in a different routine. So I guess I would share with them 2 recommendations, maybe 3. 1, find a routine. Find a time every day that you're going to do homework, and go online and read, whenever that is, and set that into a routine. So do it every day from a certain time to a certain time. But make sure that you do that. Don't go crazy, but make sure you find a routine, right? That's important. Number 2, connect with your classmates. Everybody's in the same boat. That took me some time as an online learner to think, well, do they care or do I care? Connect with them. Text with them, Zoom with them, something with them, connect so it feels like a little bit more like there is class, right? And you're in it together. And lastly, make sure you're working with your faculty. Talk to them, let them know that you're having problems, that you're stressed, that you're, it's unmanageable, that other classes are a lot and this is a lot. Please make sure to work with your faculty. Those are 3 really important things to be successful as an online learner.
Yeah, great. And, communication, we talk about it all the time, is so key with those faculty members during this time. Something else that was pretty consistent was how can our student athletes access like training videos or ideas for them to continue to work out during this time? Can you share a little bit about some of the flexibility that's the NCAA has handed out in terms of workouts and what they can and can't do right now?
Yeah, so right now you should be reaching out to your coaches. The coaches can, through the summer until the start of the regular academics season in fall, they can be working with you on bylaw 17 things, which is playing in practice seasons, which is what can I do athletically. So a student athlete should reach right out to their coach and say, hey, what can I do? How can I strength train? We just were on a different call and we were hearing things like using buckets full of sand and PVC pipe and, all kinds of things to figure out ways to lift weights and be active. It's important that you do that for lots of reasons. Most importantly, your own health and safety. And then when we return to play. So be creative, be innovative, and then use your coaches.
Yeah, and kind of along those lines, we got a few comments on what happened in terms of the gym memberships. Will there be any refunds given, any partial refunds? Can you explain what our campus administration has done with our gym membership fees?
Yep. So the administration made the decision, and this originated with our emergency operations committee all the way through policy committee, which is made up of the chancellor and vice chancellors, that the remaining balance in the gym membership strength center was going to be shifted into a fund for our students of need. We have students who are struggling right now to have enough money to pay for food. They've lost jobs. They all, so that the money went to an emergency fund for students.
Perfect. And then, one of the things on here is, let us swim, let us run, let us play. I think you and I have had this conversation many times, but, just explain to the student athletes, we would love for our student athletes to be competing right now, and just talk a little bit about the process and what that's going to look like in all of the meetings and the decision-making that will go into reconvening our sports seasons.
Well, first of all, we need to see, we need to make sure we feel like we can do it as safely as possible. Until COVID is completely eliminated, there's a vaccine, there's a treatment. There's always going to be a risk, Megan, and that makes me very nervous, right? That there's always a risk of infection. But we're working right now off of, first of all, most importantly, the Badger Bounce Back program, which coincides very nicely with the Sports Science Institute's recommendations, looking at trends of infection rates, hospitalization rates, and then gradually turning the dial and allowing some things and a little bit more, and then back to play. That's a 6-week process once we get started. And if you're following trends, we're going down this weekend, we spike back up. So we're starting over. So number one, and most importantly, you should know that we have very good guidance from the American College Health Association, the NCAA, the Sports Science Institute, and the state of Wisconsin. So we are following some of the smartest recommendations we can. And most importantly, to know that we can keep the masses safe. We want you to play. We want you to work out. We want you to practice. I don't want to say there's nobody more into making sure that happens than what Megan and I can do for you, because we know how much you want to do that too. But we are following the recommendations. We want to make sure that our student athletes are safe. And when it's safe, we're going to go chase national championships.
That's right. And I think just in closing, as an athletic administration, as a team, we kind of put together some resources for our student athletes. And I think, one of the things you encourage us as staff to do is, as we've seen additional resources, to reach out to Tim Bowen, and we'll continue to grow that page. So for student athletes that are looking for help or some resources, can you talk about the page that we put together and what's out there for them?
Yeah, so if you go to our website, there's some resources available on the athletics website under COVID. You'll find it. The UWSP website has a link to COVID resources. You can find it right there. The thing that I have to remind myself, Megan, and I really want our student athletes to know, is that it is easy in time of really uncertainty for your mental health and for your physical health to waver. It is not normal to disrupt a routine, and I feel like after 7 weeks of this, I've started to figure out a new routine, and that'll be disrupted when we go back to work.
Right.
But to not discredit mental health and physical health. And last week around the country and at Stevens Point, the campaign was, to end the stigma around mental health. Mental health is a real issue, and people should look out for that, and make sure you're finding positive, healthy outlets, whether that's through counseling or connection or reflection or whatever you need. Make sure you're asking for help. But there's a lot of resources available. All you need to do is go to our website or the UWSP website. And if you're, as a student, if you're still struggling, our counseling services on campus are available. Our Dean of Students office is available on campus. Reach out to your coaches, reach out to Megan or I, reach out to somebody, and we'll do our very best to help you.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is during this time is just to know that we're there for them. And, like you said, it goes to their coaches, it goes to us. If they need help with any of the things we talked about today or the questions that came up in the survey, we don't know unless that's communicated. And so just know that we're here as a resource, and we want to help get our student athletes through this the best way we can. So I think that pretty much wraps up another Message Monday. How many more of these before we'll be back in the office, you think, boss?
I don't know. I'm hopeful hopefully not many before we're back in the office, but we committed to doing 13 weeks of this. So, I guess if people are probably sick of hearing from us, but too bad, we're coming back next week.
We'll be back.
And we'll do our best to stay in front of this for you and let you know everything we can. So have a great week, Pointers. We'll see you next Monday.
Thank you to all of our student athletes. Have a good one.